wanted to look today at this idea of going from idea to manifestation. Because, in Science of Mind, we teach that everything in the physical world, everything in this time-space continuum, starts off in the realm of the invisible. Yes, I can get it out. Starts in the invisible and then comes forth into expression in the visible. That behind every manifestation, there's first an idea. If you look at the book of Genesis and the story of creation, which is also told in other scriptures, you'll find a very similar story in the Hindu Vedas, about this idea where God is first starting off with nothing, but then God perceives possibilities of creation to bring forth and then calls them forth into being. So there's the idea of light and the heaven and earth and land and the waters and plants and animals and human beings, that everything starts off as an idea that God calls into expression by speaking the word. Now, in Science of Mind, what we teach is, none of these scriptures are intended to just be seen literally as like, this is something that happened over a period of 7 days, way back when, and that's how the universe came into creation. This is really a story about an eternal, ongoing creative process that's unfolding all the time. And what we teach, it's not a story where God creates things out there and then stands back and looks at them and, like that one, don't really like that. What happened over there? That actually what's happening is that God is propelling itself into creation, that in order to experience its own nature, God perceives possibilities of forms that it can take, and then it propels itself into those forms. So God is living at the center of all parts of creation, including at the center of each and every one of us. So each of us is an expression of God, living within the one mind of God, imbued with all the qualities of God. And we become centers of consciousness in this one mind, through which we can perceive the possibilities of how that God nature in us can be expressed in the material world. And we are the ones that are able to bring forth those expressions into creation. Now, for eons, science really poo-pooed, that's the technical term, this whole idea of this, God in a creative process like this, until in the last century, along came this branch of science known as quantum physics, in which in the lab, in ways that people could measure, all of a sudden, scientists began to realize that matter actually comes into existence from the invisible, from what they call zero-point energy, that everything exists as infinite waves of possibility. What we would say in Science of Mind is all the infinite ways that God's nature could be made into an experience, that when they are observed, suddenly the observation of those waves as an idea of what they could look like collapses the wave into a particle. So matter is coming into being from the invisible. They are also seeing that you can't really separate the observer from what's being observed, because whatever the observer perceives or is expecting to see as they are observing actually affects the molecular structure of what is being observed. Wow. Sounds a lot like Science of Mind to me. It really corroborates what mystics throughout the ages have been trying to tell us, what we teach in this teaching, the core of our teaching, what Jesus tried to impart to us in his teaching of, it is done unto us as we believe. That whatever we expect and whatever we believe, our predominant thoughts, are actually creative, that they have a direct impact on our life experiences.